We had a really bad practice yesterday. Walked through locker room, kind of trying to pump up the girls. Hey, what did I miss? What did I miss? Addie Budnick looked at me and said, "Don't worry about it, Coach. We got this. We are not losing tomorrow." And that's about the highest amount of confidence I've probably had. Now, in the last 24 hours, don't get me wrong, still been stressed, still, didn't know how we were going to feel. But the way that Addie Budnick started the game today lived up to every promise that she made yesterday about how this game was going to go. I thought she set the tone. Everybody was great. I mean, as a coach through 30-some games, and all of a sudden you play your best basketball game of the year in front of, hopefully some new fans on your home court in a postseason tournament setting, bodes well for the future, but I think it says a lot about this group. But that was led by Addie Budnick today, and she's been on one here for the last 2-3 weeks, and that was really impressive to watch.
Were you concerned about the start given the layoff that the Spiders have had?
Yes, I was probably more concerned because none of the 3 games that we played in the tournament did we start well. Some of those were just good actions that didn't result in a shot being made, but we had a pretty sizable deficit in every game that we played in the first quarter up in Delaware. And we've taken a lot of pride in starting well this year. For the most part, we've not always 11-0, but we've had some great starts to the season. So it was more just kind of regrouping and getting our first group out there to say, hey, we got to start the game the way that we're supposed to, and really proud that they came out and did that.
Could you speak to Katie Hill's floor game, particularly your defense early?
Padilla scored on you, but she didn't hurt you early.
Yeah, I thought Padilla, she was going to get 20 points probably, and she hit some, I thought, really, really tough shots. Some of them at the end of shot clocks, some of those with Katie all over, some of those with help. We lost her in transition a couple times early, but I thought that was her working really hard for her points, and I thought we made them work. Even they had probably, I felt like 4 either end of the first quarter buzzer beaters or end of the shot clock where they made some shots. And, but I thought all the shots that they made for the most part were tough. And I thought that was a huge credit to Katie, who had an unbelievably tough assignment today. I thought she did a good job starting off with Padilla. I thought Rachel came in. I think that's a tough assignment to put on a freshman who's starting to figure some things out defensively. I thought she did a great job. But I just thought overall our team defense was really, really good.
For the competitive part of the game, I think you only had 1 turnover.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah, and I remember the second one. I remember when the second one happened. But again, I think we talked to our players at one point, I think the media timeout of the fourth quarter, and said, we aren't shooting unbelievably well. I thought we made shots in that first quarter, but it wasn't one of these games where you're just blowing somebody out because you just made shots. I thought we were getting great shots. We had 17 assists and 2 turnovers during that media timeout of the fourth quarter. Those of you guys that have been here before know that we've had some maybe not quite that opposite, but we had struggled with the turnovers. And I really think over the last 2 months we've done a really, really good job taking care of the basketball, which is one thing. But I think the way that we passed the ball today, the way that we hit cutters, not to put words in their mouth, but I just think that can be really deflating for a team. When you're doing everything right, it's not that we're executing a play. We're getting some actions, and then it was just our players playing off of each other, finding actions, finding spots on the floor, and getting to those. And I thought that's what made the offense work today.
Ask why do you think the practice was so bad?
You can ask every coach in America why they have random bad practices. But and I meant this sincerely, guys, when I said this yesterday. Sometimes you can have a bad practice, especially the day before a game, and it makes you as coaches kind of go rethink a few things that we had to tweak a couple things for our zone attack based on yesterday. We did not have only 2 turnovers in practice yesterday. It felt like 17 turnovers and 2 assists yesterday in practice. But our kids knew that, right? And I think that was something we talked about after practice, the maturity of let's not freak out because we had a bad practice. Let's learn, just like a loss, right? You had a bad loss. Let's learn from it and play better the next game. I thought we did that today. Sometimes you can have a great practice, start feeling good about yourself, and then get the doors blown off you. So I'm just really proud of the maturity, the way that we bounced back from yesterday more than anything else.
They did not have the look that they were happy just to be here. Did you get the sense of that?
Absolutely, and I think that's a credit to our leaders. We talked not maybe big in rah-rah speeches before a game, but we talked about what this can mean for the legacy of this year's team. Whether that's coming back here, talking about with a great atmosphere, getting a home playoff game, and being able to talk about this 5 years down the road, 25 years down the road. That, hey, remember when we did that special thing that night? Hopefully it leads to greater things here over the next few weeks and then even down the road the next few seasons. But I thought this was just a really, really cool moment. And as a reward for the work that this team has done, where we've gotten to, from where we've been, I just couldn't be prouder of the effort that they showed tonight.
Coach, you're playing the winner of Rhode Island BU. Do you know when or where?
No. And I don't know that we'll know that until after the game tomorrow. My guess is they're probably telling us, we're heading up to the Northeast for your next game and maybe pack for 2 games because you might be up there if you win for a second game. That's my guess, and probably targeting a Sunday, Monday. We didn't talk to our players. I think there's a couple of them maybe within earshot that we'll probably give them a day off tomorrow, at least from everything on the floor. It's the most excited I think Eddie Budnick's been all night. But they've worked at this here over the last few weeks and really over the last week, breaking them back from spring break, cutting that short to prepare for this, the work that they've put in to prepare for this. More isn't always more. Sometimes less is more, especially this time of year and the way that they played tonight. And I think they deserve a little bit of a rest.
Yeah. John O'Connor here from the Richmond Times-Dispatch. Nice to see you again. Thank you for coming. From where did your confidence come when Coach Roussel spoke to you yesterday about this game?
Yeah, I think he talked about it. We had a really bad practice yesterday. Honestly, the past 2 days weren't great. So he was kind of freaking out after practice, asking around, are we okay? What's going on? Are we tired? Are we going to be okay? And we were all just relaxed. We got this. We're good. And I think that a lot of that comes from how we've been playing. I think stemming from the A10 tournament and leading up to that, we've been playing really well. We've been clicking. So I think that's just carried over. I think that we're mature enough to bounce back from a bad practice. And I think that really showed tonight.
Could you address the strong start as a group and individually, which seemed to get you the momentum to get through tonight?
Yeah. I think in the A10 tournament, we came out really flat all 3 games, and we were able to climb our way back. But tonight, we were kind of fired up. I think it started with Jada out in the tunnel. She really got us fired up for the game. We came out with a lot of energy. We knew we needed to throw that first punch, be the aggressors. We talk about being the aggressors all the time, making sure that we get those calls, and we're dictating the pace. And I think that we started off really strong and did that tonight.
Could you share your thoughts on this postseason opportunity, which is new for this group, everybody in the group?
Yeah. Obviously, none of us have been here before, so it's a really cool opportunity, and not just getting here. We aren't happy with that. We want to see how far we can go and really make a statement and show that Richmond basketball is good. We've come a long way over at least my time here, and it's really cool to see all the hard work paying off. Everyone's in the gym. We're clicking, so we're just going to see how far this takes us.
Thank you.
I'm Sean with CBS 6 here in town. You mentioned about the 3 games in the A10 tournament starting flat all 3 games, and then tonight, not making, you're not going to lose based on the practices you had. Do you think it may have played the long layoff, having almost 3 weeks off before tonight? Do you think that may have played a role in maybe the last couple of days not being sharp in practice?
Yeah, I think we had a few days off, and then we came back. We were trying to get our wind back, working on all of that. Sometimes taking time off can be bad, and you can be a step behind, shots aren't falling, things are a little short, your legs aren't under you, but sometimes rest can be good, and I think that those 2 practices were helping us get our legs under us, and I think that we finally got under us a little bit, and that showed tonight when we came out really strong.
If you can expand upon the fact you mentioned this is a great opportunity for you guys to kind of put Richmond on the map, just expand upon that even more, getting this first win, I guess the next step in bringing Richmond basketball back, so to speak, in this tournament.
Yeah, just making a statement, showing who we are, showing that we're a really good group. I know the past few years here haven't been amazing with wins and everything, but building on this for the future, not just sticking to the present. Obviously, the goal is an NCAA tournament, but we didn't get that this year, so taking what we have, being grateful for it, taking the opportunity, and just running with it.
Have over 20 wins. Now I think it's 21.
Yeah.
What does it mean for you personally to be a part of this team, to have 21 wins?
I mean, I love this team. We work really hard. Everyone's in the gym nonstop. It's actually hard to get in the gym sometimes because everyone's in there shooting. So I think that there's been a culture change over the past few years, and we're starting to click, balls moving. We have really good chemistry on and off the court, and I think that's shown and that's reflected in our 21 wins, and hopefully that's just going to keep building from here.